The O'Reilly Factor is on tonight.
I am proud to be running as a woman.
New charges that Senator Clinton is losing because of sexism. And racial madness continues at Syracuse University.
I wanted to ask you a couple questions about Boyce Watkins, one of your professors. He's saying that Bill O'Reilly wants to lynch Michelle Obama, and he's using the good name of Syracuse University to spread these kinds of lies.
We'll have reports on both situations. Outrage building in Memphis, Tennessee, over teachers allowing high school students to go wild at a dance. Dennis Miller on that. Also, a vicious attack on Jenna Bush by the crazy left, Daily Kos. Caution, you are about to enter the no-spin zone. The Factor begins right now. Hi, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thank you for watching us tonight. Racism and sexism in the presidential race. That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. Exit polling in West Virginia yesterday showed 22% of Democrats considered the race factor before casting their ballot. But why? Why should race matter in any way? Both white and black Americans need to ditch this racial stuff. Now, back on April 7th, I warned the race baiters on both sides, so watch out, and I meant it. That's why we've come down hard on Syracuse University for employing an instructor named Boyce Watkins, whose hate speech is off the chart. He's the guy who called Juan Williams a, quote, happy Negro, unquote. Well, the latest from Watkins is this, quote, O'Reilly, Hannity, and Limbaugh are in the same tradition as those who killed Dr. Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, unquote. Well, since black Muslims murdered Malcolm, Watkins is not only a hater, he is a certified loon. Nevertheless, the chancellor at Syracuse, Nancy Cantor, will not condemn the hate speech.
This is an individual speaking for himself, not...
But do you want to speak for the university? Is the university responsible to...
An individual speaking for himself, not for the university.
Awful. Now, as chancellor at the University of Illinois, Dr. Cantor pushed to remove the school's mascot, an Indian chief. She also rightly shut down a Syracuse student TV show that trafficked in crude racial humor. So, if an issue offends the chancellor's left-wing sensibilities, she's all over it. Trust me, if Watkins were a member of the Klan, he would not be teaching at Syracuse University. But Watkins gets a pass, even though he is identifying himself as a Syracuse instructor on his hate-filled website. What Watkins and others are doing is creating an atmosphere where any criticism of Barack Obama can be called racist. Senator Obama, of course, has nothing to do with it, but loons trying to help him will surely harm him if this continues. On another front, an opinion article in the Boston Globe today says that Hillary Clinton is losing because of sexism. A woman named Michael Regenberg submits that the mainstream media has demeaned Senator Clinton for her laugh and pantsuits, stuff like that. Well, I disagree with this hypothesis. I think the mainstream media generally supports Obama over Clinton because they believe Obama is more liberal. Every presidential candidate gets mocked. Remember the ribbing Obama took over bad bowling? What was that, manism? So Talking Points is not buying the sexism deal, but racism is definitely in play. Again, no honest person should ever vote for or against a candidate because of skin color, ethnicity, or gender. The next president should be smart, brave, and honest, period. And that's a memo. Now for the top story, another view of this. Joining us from Washington, Fox News analyst Laura Ingraham. You know, I heard that you mock Senator Clinton's pantsuits, and that is sexist, is it not?
I just said that the threat level currently is at red pantsuit, because she goes from yellow to green to red, and it usually tracks what she's doing in various primary states. So I just think it's interesting. But no, I think you're right, Bill. It obviously has nothing to do with sexism and everything to do with the fact that she's much more conservative in the eyes of many far-left Democratic voters and supporters, the George Soros types, the blogs that you sometimes talk about. She's much more conservative than they would like on a whole host of issues, and Obama's their guy.
If the sexism thing were true, then in West Virginia, you wouldn't have exit polling showing that 22% of Democrats had race on their mind during the vote. So I think race is much more of a factor in this. Hillary Clinton, sexism, you know, in the article, and we had the lady on the radio, and she was very good, by the way, a very good guest. But she said, well, look, she's a punchline. Hillary Clinton's a punchline. And I'm going, Bill Clinton and George Bush are not punchlines?
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous, Bill. We have a female Secretary of State now. We have a female Speaker of the House. If you connect with the voters, you represent your constituents, and you run a good campaign, you're going to do well in politics. It has nothing to do with that. But on this issue of race, I take a little bit of a different view than you do on how they're saying, well, 20% of the voters and 25% of the voters said that race had something to do with their vote. Now, that could mean a lot of things. And I think what we're seeing is a lot of people are saying, oh, it's racism, that people aren't voting for Obama because of race. You know, Bill, we spent a lot of time talking about Reverend Wright, right? And Reverend Wright had a lot of hate-filled views about what this government is doing to black people, injecting the AIDS virus, U.S. of KKK, that kind of stuff. And I think that did not sit well with a lot of Americans. And there are people out there who are still very concerned that Barack Obama has tagged himself with this deeply anti-American and in many ways racist preacher. I think that could have
maybe, but that's an association problem rather than a racial problem. Look. 3%, just 3% of the voters in West Virginia yesterday were black. So most of this racial concern is on the part of whites in West Virginia. However, you know, everybody knows that some black Americans are voting for Barack Obama purely because of along racial lines. Of course they are. So I'm saying to myself that, number one, we have currents in both directions. And number two, we shouldn't have any of it.
Well, but Bill, I think there are a lot of voters also who probably think, wait a second, is Barack Obama qualified to be president of the United States after one, you know, but I'm saying they might say, well, wait, maybe he's getting more of a bit of a free pass on the experience because he's this, you know, transformational candidate. Part of that is the fact that he happens to be African American.
But that's a press issue. That's a press issue.
But the question asked in the exit poll was, did race play a factor?
Yeah, race is
It doesn't mean that everybody who answered that yes, Bill, is a racist. I reject that.
I didn't say they were a racist, but I'm saying a race shouldn't be a factor in anybody's vote at any time on either side. It's who the person is and what they're saying.
But if they think that Barack Obama sat in those pews for 23 years, Bill, and heard this hate-filled nonsense from Reverend Wright and wasn't really upfront about it, and that guy's a racist,
an honesty question.
That's not going to sit well.
That's an honesty question. That's not a racial question.
Anti-Americanism and race come into play in that because of what Reverend Wright said about white people. That is what I think is going on here. And then, yeah, there are probably people who are insensitive.
Okay. Maybe some of these people didn't think about the exit polling question enough, because all of the things that you raise are valid, but they come under different categories. Now, the Syracuse University thing, people ought to know what's going on here. That this Watkins is allowed to get away with this when no white professor could ever get away with this hate speech on any level at all. So that's number one. Number two, the reason he's doing this guy and others, because others are doing it too, is to set up a scenario whereby if you don't like Barack Obama or you criticize him on any level, that you're a racist. That's what's going on here. And Syracuse University, it's a big school. And you saw the chancellor, embarrassing to me, you know. It's not just his opinion. This man is representing the university by introducing himself on the website as a professor there.
Yeah, I agree with you that, look, I mean, it's clear that there's a big setup going on here, that if you take on Barack Obama, you're going to be tagged with racial insensitivity at the very least, because the left is obsessed with race. That's all they want to talk about is race. They're obsessed with it.
But here it's worse, though. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but and I'm going to hold her over another 30 seconds. This is important. Hannity and Limbaugh are very anti-Obama because they're Republican conservatives.
I know, this professor, Bill, is a peon.
I know that.
It's his biggest day in the world that you're attacking him right now. It's his biggest day of his whole life that Fox News and Bill O'Reilly is elevating. Who knows this Boyd guy? You know, he's a little pea, a little flea. I just flick him away. You're too big for that.
No, you're making a mistake. This is all over the internet. I
disagree.
It's all over the internet. And it's sanctioned
this guy?
No. It doesn't matter about him. Syracuse University, it matters. But the reason they're doing it is because Hannity and Limbaugh, and I don't know about you because I'm working when your show's on, but they are very, very big critics of Barack Obama.
Now
he's lumping me in with Hannity and Limbaugh. To me, I think I've been fair to Obama. I'm going to find out about him. But
pretty good company to keep, by the way.
But anyway, the object is to demonize Limbaugh and Hannity, maybe you, maybe me, buy these guys. That's why I'm tackling it. It has nothing to do with
Flick
this
him
nutty
off.
professor.
He's irrelevant. Bill, you're bigger
That's
than
what
that.
they
You're
said
pointing,
about
you're,
Ward Churchill. That's what they said.
I know, but
and it's not going to stand.
Bill,
not at a big university
Syracuse,
like that, Laura. Not at a big
Syracuse
university like that.
professor is, I mean, it's a great school, but I've never heard of this guy before. He's being elevated. He's getting all this attention now. I think the substantive point you're making is right,
okay.
And this guy is a fool.
Laura, thanks very much. We'll see you next on the Rundown. The count of molested children in Tampa has now reached 20. 20! Will anything be done? And later, Dennis Miller on the scandal in a Memphis school, teachers allowing students to go wild at a dance. Upcoming.
The most powerful name in news. Fox.
Pregnancy. It's a beautiful thing. It can also leave ugly stretch marks. Anyone can get them, but you can help prevent them. Palmer's Cocoa Butter Formula for Stretch Marks blends 4 key ingredients to increase skin elasticity, helping prevent and reduce the appearance of stretch marks. So your pregnancy is as beautiful as can be. Palmer's Cocoa Butter Formula for Stretch Marks. Proven formula, extraordinary results.
What did I use to help prevent stretch marks when I was pregnant? Palmer's Cocoa Butter Formula.
Shouldn't trust be an investment and insurance product too? Ask your agent or broker what The Hartford can do for you.
Hi, it's Vince with ShamWow. You'll be saying wow every time you use this towel. It's like a chamois, it's like a towel, it's like a sponge. A regular towel doesn't work wet. This works wet or dry. This is for the house, the car, the boat, the RV. ShamWow holds 20 times its weight in liquid. Look at this. It just does the work. Why do you want to work twice as hard? Doesn't drip. Doesn't make a mess. Wring it out. You wash it in the washing machine. Made in Germany. You know the Germans always make good stuff. You can cut it in half. Use one as a bath mat. Drain your dishes with the other one. Use one as a towel. Olympic divers, they use it as a towel. Look at that. Completely dry. Put a wet sweater. Roll it up. It dries your sweaters. Here's some cola. Wine, coffee, cola, pet stains. Not only is the damage going to be on top, there's your mildew. That is going to smell. See that? The most observed. We're going to do this in real time. Look at this. Put on the spill, turn it over without even putting any pressure. 50% of the cola right there. You follow me, camera guy? The other 50%, the color starts to come up. No other towel's going to do that. It acts like a vacuum. And look at this, virtually dry on the bottom. See what I'm telling you? ShamWow, you'll be saying wow every time.
I can't live without it. I just love it.
Oh my gosh, I don't even buy paper towels anymore.
If you're going to wash your cars or any kind of vehicle, you'd be out of your mind not to own one of these.
All I can say is ShamWow.
You're going to spend $20 every month on paper towels anyway. You're throwing your money away. The mini ShamWows are for everything, for everyday use. This lasts 10 years. This lasts a week. I don't know, it sells itself. The ShamWow sells for $19.95, but you get one for the house, one for the car, 2 for the kitchen and bathroom. But if you call now, because we can't do this all day, we'll give you a second set absolutely free. So that's 8 ShamWows for $19.95. Comes with a 10-year warranty. Here's how to order.
Call 1-800-899-5364. That's 1-800-899-5364. ShamWow is not available in stores and is made in Germany. Beware of ShamWow imitators. Call 1-800-899-5364. That's 1-800-899-5364. Call now.
Pregnancy. It's a beautiful thing. It can also leave ugly stretch marks. Anyone can get them, but you can help prevent them. Palmer's Cocoa Butter Formula for Stretch Marks.
What did I use to help prevent stretch marks when I was pregnant? Palmer's Cocoa Butter Formula.
Fact or follow-up segment tonight. As we reported last night, the number of children molested in Tampa schools has now risen to 20. The latest case involves 29-year-old Stephanie Ragosa, now charged with molesting 2 boys and accused in 2 more cases. That comes on the heels of Deborah Lefebvre, who was sentenced to probation for having sex with a 14-year-old male student. Superintendent of schools in Hillsborough County, Mary Ellen Elia, would not speak with us, but something's very wrong down there, obviously. Joining us from Tampa is attorney Jeff Brown, who was asked to defend Ms. Ragosa but declined, and Owen Lefebvre, the former husband of Deborah, who has produced a documentary called After School about the situation. Counselor, begin with you. Why did you turn the case down?
Well, we're living in a period of time where I call it the shadow of Lefebvre, and as everybody knows now, Lefebvre did not go to prison, the reason being that the victim's mother was adamant against it, despite the wishes of the state attorney, despite the wishes of the judge. And you look at this case now, and you're looking at it in this climate where we are, and it's a different climate. It's not going to be the same result. This is not going to be a probation case. And I felt like with all the media attention this case was going to get and the facts as I knew it, I wasn't so sure that I was the right lawyer to be able to help her.
Well, are you saying that you think Ragosa is going to go to prison no matter what happens because the anger is so intense?
I think the chances of finding another victim's mother that will stand up to the state attorney and say, in no way will my child testify in a courtroom, I think the chances of finding that are slim. I think you're going to get a more realistic parent that maybe doesn't want their child exposed to it, but doesn't want the offender to go away on probation either. And if that's the case, the guidelines are going to call for it. The judge is going to be more than happy to punish this type of conduct, and I think the state attorney is going to be asking for at least 10 years.
All right, but isn't Ms. Ragosa entitled to best defense? And if she wants you, shouldn't you go in there and give it your best shot?
Absolutely, and I think that every lawyer should, but I think a lawyer also owes a duty to know when maybe this isn't the right case for them.
Okay,
and I felt like
fair
at
enough.
that time,
I mean, if you're
right
doing it because you really didn't think you could do the best job possible, that's what you should do. Now, Mr. Lefebvre, do you think that the Hillsborough County School District knew about your wife, knew she was unstable, and continued to employ her?
Well, I think there were a lot of signs that led you to believe that she probably shouldn't have been in the classroom. I mean, there was times where she, acted inappropriately, dressed inappropriately. There's the possibility that they did know and just didn't address it quickly enough. I know the principal was aware of some of the questions regarding her dress and her behavior.
Okay, so the principal in the school system knew that your wife was not quite appropriate in her job. You knew, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was night and day from the woman I knew, and something was definitely, strange.
Yeah, because you look at her, and she's very pretty, and she looks like she wouldn't hurt anybody, and here she is having sex with 14-year-olds. So there's got to be something emotionally wrong with her. You would figure that maybe her supervisors would pick up on that, and my question is, are they just not paying attention in Tampa, or they don't care, or what do you think the root problem is?
I'll tell you, I think really fundamentally the problem is we have a lack of qualified teachers, in our school system, a pool of teachers to choose from. I think there are a lot of teachers out there that shouldn't be in the classroom. I think the discrepancy in age is a lot less. I mean, we've got 22-year-olds teaching 17 and 18-year-olds.
Well, I did that when I was 22. I taught in Miami to 18-year-olds, and I understand that that's not a great situation. But Hillsborough County's got $1 billion school budget. You've got a lot of teaching candidates in schools in Florida. It seems to me you could get teachers in there, and you can't be taking people who are unstable at any level. You just can't do it. Now, I just want you to be honest with the audience. You were married to this woman. Was she unstable while you were married to her?
I think she did have some emotional issues. Whether anything that led me to believe that she would be, a sexual offender and seek out young children, no. But definitely there were some mental issues. And I think, when it comes to this case with Ragusa, she was, arrested 2 previous times, and that did come out during the course of her applying for employment. And so I think there is some fault that has to rest on the shoulders.
Absolutely. We went over this last night. The school district did not check her out. She lied on her application. And then when they did check her out, they didn't remove her for having a DUI and then lying about it. They let her stay in, and now you have this mess. Now, that's squarely on the superintendent of schools in Hillsborough. That person has to be replaced, that woman that we showed you. She's got to go. 20 kids, counselor, that's 20 harmed human beings, and that just can't happen. You agree with me?
No, I agree with you. I think the issue here that you've identified is why is this seem to be happening in Tampa? Is it just isolated to Tampa,
this is a school
or is it happening elsewhere and it's not getting reported?
That is now officially out of control, and the superintendent has to go. Mr. Lefebvre, counselor, thanks very much. Directly ahead, another terrible school situation, this one in Memphis, where high school teachers allowed some students to go wild at a dance. We'll have the latest on that, and then Dennis Miller will weigh in on it, and we'll be right back.
Prime time tomorrow. Down to the wire. Hillary vows a fight to the end. Is this hurting Obama and the party? It's powerful political insight on Hannity and Combs.
Your evil army is complete.
Now, nothing can stop me from building my own Capital One credit card.
Make my rewards double points and a low interest rate. And I want a picture of kittens on it.
War kittens?
No, just like regular cute kittens. Baby cats.
Introducing Capital One Card Lab. Customize your card by choosing your rewards, interest rate, even upload your own image at CapitalOne.com.
What's in your wallet?
So fine, she's the best girl that I ever had. Sometimes you're gonna make me feel so bad. Hush, hush, thought I heard it calling my name now. Hush, hush, I need the loving and I'm not to blame now.
Non piangete per me, ragazzi.
Mamma.
Ho avuto una vita lunga e felice. Ho avuto tutto ciò che desideravo. E ho fatto tutte le esperienze possibili. Ho fatto...
It seems like no matter what anti-aging treatment you use, you can barely see a difference. If I'm going to do the work, then I want to see the results.
New Neutrogena Healthy Skin Rejuvenator. Each puff's ultrafine crystals gently create more luminous skin today, while microvibrations boost circulation and build collagen for firmer, younger-looking skin tomorrow.
Younger-looking skin without having to look for it. That's the way it should be, right?
Healthy Skin Rejuvenator. No wonder Neutrogena is recommended most by dermatologists.
Like most Washington politicians, Gordon Smith wants it both ways. In this ad, Smith says he's opposed to partisan fighting and looking for a better way. But Smith's other ads attack Democratic opponents and smear Jeff Merkley. Fact is, Jeff Merkley didn't take a dime from state lobbyists during the legislative session, and Gordon Smith knows it. Doesn't Oregon deserve better? The Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Reach for crayon and draw. Pick up ball and throw. Entertaining yourself used to be easy, but it got tougher. What if it could be easy again? What if there was a place you could find and watch the shows and movies you wanted? Fancast.com. Enter entertainment.
Impact segment is brought to you by the new Capital One Card Lab at CapitalOne.com. What's in your wallet?
And in the Impact segment tonight, outrage building across the country after our report earlier this week on teachers allowing high school students to go wild, and I mean wild, at a dance. If you were warning, you saw some of the tease tape, it's very disturbing. At Mitchell High, the tape shows students simulating sex while adult chaperones stand around and do nothing about it. Some students have been suspended, but Principal John Ware still has not explained how this could happen, and teachers and administrators would allow this kind of thing on campus. Join us now from Memphis, Tennessee, radio talk show host Ben Ferguson and Stacey Waddell, who chairs the youth organization Girls Incorporated of Memphis. Begin with you, Miss Waddell. I mean, you know, you're a local down there. You've been through the system, the school system down there, where I taught a long time ago this could never have happened. It would have been impossible. Administrators, teachers, chaperones would have stepped right in and stopped it immediately, and it wasn't stopped. Why?
First of all, you made a really good point, Bill, and that is that years ago it wouldn't have happened. And I think that more importantly right now it's basically, in my opinion, the environment that they're living and the influences that they're surrounded by.
Okay, but we understand the pernicious influences from MTV, from the rap industry on the kids. Okay, we got that. We know why kids do this, exhibitionism. We don't know why adults don't stop it, Miss Waddell.
First of all, I was outraged. I want you to know that. And I'm quite frankly embarrassed at it happening
Everybody
in
in
our
Memphis
own
should
community.
be. Every citizen in Memphis, Tennessee. The principal should be removed and the superintendent should be removed, just as in Tampa. This is not as bad as Tampa. This is not as bad as Tampa, but it's at a level where if you don't have adults in the school system that can control an environment and allow this to take place, you got anarchy and chaos in there, Ms. Waddell. But again, the teachers on the scene not stopping it, are they afraid of the children?
Yeah. You know, technically, I don't necessarily think they're afraid of the children. I do want to make a point, and that is that I do believe that this generation has been a forgotten generation, that we as society have not really paid enough attention to them, given them the influences they need, given them the direction that they need to make wise decisions, to be accountable for their actions, and be 100% responsible for their own actions.
You're living in the land of theory here. I got a real situation here. I got adults watching this and not stopping it. Go ahead, Mr. Ferguson.
Bill, you got to look at this. And the reality is what is a chaperone supposed to do at a dance? It's supposed to make sure that things like this don't happen. And you've got kids now that are running these schools, principals that don't really care, and you have teachers that have no authority because of obviously a principal like this and a school board that allows it to happen to be able to discipline these kids. The reality is these kids are running the schools.
Okay, that may be true. I don't know the school. But are you telling me a teacher is afraid to go in to a school dance, a chaperone, and tell kids to knock it off, and if they don't, to eject them from the dance? Are you telling me they're afraid to do that?
Look at the leadership of this school. It's blatantly obvious that the school board and the principal will not back up a teacher. They let it happen, and they let it happen another time at a talent show, which you showed that video. The reality here is you have total lack of leadership when it comes to school. The teachers, their hands are tied. They're going, what, am I going to be the one teacher that walks out there, and then I may get disciplined by a school board because I bring up this? Kids will be kids, and they've allowed these kids to make their own rules.
You're laying on Ware, the principal. You're saying that Ware is allowing those students to run the school, do whatever they want, and this man keeps his job, and the parents don't care.
Absolutely not. Bill, I completely disagree with that.
Kids will always
I completely
be kids.
disagree with him only because, no, that is not true. Kids need direction. They need positive influence. They need to be educated and taught how to. Okay. It's not just the principal's fault. We need to be accountable as society. The society as a whole, we as parents, we as communities,
you got to give me a break on this society garbage. You got adults standing there. They make a decision, Ms. Waddell. They let it go or they don't.
Absolutely.
And they let it go.
So we,
That's
as
where
the
buck
community, need to stand up about it.
We can do the kumbaya number later on.
Bill, you know this.
Mr. Ferguson,
Bill, you know
I'm
this
giving you
as
the
much as
last
I
word.
do.
Go ahead.
Bill, you know this as much as I do. The bottom line is when you look at parents may not be good parents at home, but when you have kids doing this dance, it's the responsibility of the principal and those people under him to have leadership and to stop it. You cannot control a child's environment.
I agree.
You can't raise
I think
every
this is
kid.
it. Ware's got to be fired immediately. There's no excuse for it, and the chaperones who are there also have to be removed.
You know, there are
from their
options out there, such as Girls Incorporated, where we implement programs and
All right, Ms. Waddell, I know you do good work, and it's not your fault, but in order for things to improve, you have to have rules that have to be obeyed. That's where you start. That's where you start. All right, Ms.
And they
Waddell,
have to
Mr.
be
Ferguson,
enforced.
I got to run. Thanks very much.
Absolutely.
Plenty more ahead as the Factor moves along this evening. Dennis Miller, some comments on the Memphis dance routine, and Hillary hanging in there. Also, a vicious internet attack on Jenna Bush by the despicable Daily Kos. We hope you stay tuned for those reports.
Welcome to our moment.
You want some shade for the moment?
Sure. They needed someone to landscape a new subdivision across town. Fast. That's where AT&T came in. I checked inventory at the nursery. I got pricing from the office and submitted the bid online. All from right here. See, if we can't make our moment happen, it'll become someone else's moment. Guys, we got the job. Sweet.
Seize your moment with AT&T Small Business Solutions. And now get the AT&T Laptop Connect card for free. AT&T, your world delivered.
In today's cloudy mortgage market, you need a lender that offers clear, straightforward solutions. Rates are near historic lows, so now's the time to call Ditech to refinance at a new, low fixed rate of 5.5%. We'll have an approval decision for you in minutes with no hidden fees or hidden anything. Because at Ditech, what you see is what you get. Call 1-800-DITECH-1 today.
Nearly 400,000 in Texas.
More than 250,000 in California.
From the aloha state of Hawaii
to the free state of Maryland.
Hi, I'm Montel Williams. The PPA buses, sponsored by America's pharmaceutical research companies, have been to all 50 states, helping nearly 5 million people who are uninsured and struggling.
Call 1-888-4PPA now.
Tell a trained specialist the names of your medicines.
You could get them for free or nearly free.
Because America's pharmaceutical research companies want to help.
How do you get even better gas mileage from a Suzuki? How about free gas? That's right. Get any Suzuki with 0% financing, and you'll get a summer's worth of gas free. All just in time for a summer adventure. Since Suzuki is great on gas to begin with, it just doesn't get much better than this. Free gas with 0% financing. Hurry in.
So, Bill, how do we know when it's time to replace our life jackets?
It's time. Get great tips on boating, hiking, camping, and more during the Bass Pro Shop's National Go Outdoors event.
Right now at Pearl Vision, you can get eyeglasses and prescription sunglasses for just $99. You'll save on styles for the whole family. Visit pearlvision.com for the store nearest you and take advantage of our $99 promotion. At Pearl Vision, we want you to see more.
I just bought stock. You just saw me buy stock. No big deal. I mean, you know, if I can do it.
Whoa. It's so easy. There are 1,000 new accounts a day at E-Trade.
They're okay. Our take-alongs are good to go.
New Take-Alongs cookies from Keebler in Chips Deluxe and Sandy's.
In the Policing the Net segment tonight, another viewer warning. I'm sorry, but there are some violent images ahead. 3 topics, including a vicious attack on Jenna Bush and her family by the vicious Daily Kos. Joining us now from Washington, our internet cop, the very nice Mary Catherine Ham. You know, I hate to report this stuff, but we have to do it. We have to tell the audience the level of hate in this country because it is becoming a factor in a presidential race, as I debated with Laura Ingraham up top, and it is becoming a factor with children, and it's coarsening our society. Jenna Bush, married, very nice ceremony last weekend. The Daily Kos does what?
Well, they took it as an opportunity, the classic sort of liberal blog activity, to post pictures of her at her wedding juxtaposed with some very graphic pictures of casualties in Iraq, perpetrated both by insurgents and allegedly American airstrikes, just to make the point that the Bushes should not be allowed to celebrate nuptials, apparently, because there is a war going on. And I guess the premise is that, or the theory is that only the handful of Democrats who originally voted against the war are allowed to celebrate familial milestones at this point while there's a war going on. I mean, it's a really silly argument, and the pictures are disgusting.
All right. Now, the purveyor of this revolting website, who is probably one of the most despicable Americans in the country, show his picture if we have it. This man is basically now using the website to elevate the level of hatred toward the Bushes and anybody else. And Newsweek magazine, by the way, has legitimized him by giving him a columnist position. I talked to the editor by email, and I said, I can't believe that that's like hiring David Duke again. I use Duke too much, but I have to. The level of hatred coming out of that website is unprecedented.
It is. The comment sections are really a cesspool. There are liberal blogs that do good reporting, that do good stuff. Even at places on Daily Kos and occasionally on Huffington Post, you'll find good stuff. But yes, it's overshadowed by the cesspool that happens.
I canceled my subscription. I still get it at work to Newsweek magazine because of that. And I think everybody else should as well. I mean, once you start to legitimize this, like Syracuse University, once you start to employ that guy, let him do the hatred using his position. Once you start to hire a guy like this Coast guy, and you're legitimizing that, then I'm out. I am completely out. I don't want anything to do with you or your publication or your school.
And shining sunlight on the comments and the bad behavior, I think it's a good way to get rid of it.
Yeah. And we have to. That's why I told Laura Ingraham, I can't ignore this because it's becoming a huge, huge factor in the country. Now, second one, we have New York State trying to get a law passed that anybody who photographs violent criminal activity and puts it on the net can be charged with a felony. I like the law. What do you say?
Well, this comes, on the heels of these videos where girls are beating up another girl. They posted on YouTube on purpose. There's these bum fights where people go out and find homeless people to assault, and then they post it on YouTube. And there is sort of like a pseudo fame that's gained from this, and copycatting going on. So they're trying to put a stop to this in New York with a law that would make it a felony to knowingly videotape and distribute this assault.
And you're for that law, correct?
Well, you know me. I'm anti-making new laws. I feel like assault is already against the law. Conspiracy
but assault is against the law, but not photographing it. So the person who photographs it gets away with it, even though they're participating in the crime.
No, I think there are ways to go after that person as well, and the video becomes an aggravating factor when you're sentencing somebody.
It also delivers more pain to the victim. Keep that in mind. All right, you're wrong on that
I'm just worried about the unintended consequences of too many laws. You know me. You know me.
You're right about the Kos. You're wrong about that one. Okay. 30 million people have gone in to watch an internet display of animals in Africa fighting. Correct? Tell me about this.
It's an old video taken in 2004 by a tourist, a Texas tourist in South Africa on a nature reserve, and it's this epic battle between a herd of buffalo or bison or something along those lines. I apologize for my
yeah, it's
my
a buffalo, it's lions, and it's a
lions
crocodile. Here comes
and
the
a crocodile,
right?
All fighting together over the same baby calf, and the calf eventually comes out on top. It's a great underdog story. It's this amazing wildlife video, and it's just exploded on the internet with millions and millions of views. And National Geographic, in turn, made a documentary based on this film to explore what happened in it. So it's really an example of how you can really take off if you catch something.
But isn't it an example of how bloodthirsty we all are here?
Well, I don't know. The calf comes out on top. It's a happy ending. And that's why people like it.
The calf gets away, right?
Right. It's not. It's
but what
not
about
just
the poor crocodile? He's hungry.
Right. Oh my gosh, you would root for the crocodile.
Touche. Mary Catherine Ham, everybody. By the way, there's a tape floating around on the internet of me in a state of displeasure, I understand. Apparently, the tape is 20 years old. But I, your humble correspondent, have plenty of much newer stuff because by contractual obligation, I have to create a few dramas every year for the amusement of my coworkers. They quit if I didn't do that. Anyway, if you want to buy the tapes that I have, I'm happy to sell them to you. Coming next, Dennis Miller on Hillary staying in the race and out of control. High school dances. We discussed it. Miller's got some comments on it. Moments away.
Most people only see insurance as something you need when things go wrong. But at Genworth, we look at it differently. We think when you work with someone who sees insurance as part of creating your financial security, you'll move forward in life. Think it possible. Genworth Financial.
Everybody loves a beautiful garden, but not the blisters, bending, and backaches that come with it. Hi, Billy Mays here with the Awesome Auger, the world's most efficient and powerful yard tool you'll ever use. Just attach it to any size drill. Pull the trigger, plant, and grow. It's great for preparing soil for all kinds of planting. Use it to plant trees, shrubs, and bushes. It works like magic for tilling and cultivating the garden. And it's perfect for aerating compost piles. It takes all the work out of digging post holes, removing dead trees, bushes, roots, and stumps. It takes the hard work out of yard work. Made of solid steel, its spiral laser sharp edge gives you the muscle to blast through rock hard clay, cut through the thickest roots, and easily power out rocks and stubborn stumps. Call now and get the Awesome Auger for only $19.95. As a special bonus, we'll also include the Ground Dog to plant bulbs by the dozens with lightning speed. And it's perfect for raised flower beds, large potted plants, and window boxes. But call right now and we'll send you the Weed Dog. That removes embarrassing weeds and dandelions. Just reverse and remove. You can also use it to mix paint and concrete in seconds. And it even comes with the Awesome Auger Power Extender to make all your garden and yard work easier. The Weed Dog and the Power Extender are a $30 value, but they're yours free. Just pay shipping and processing. And with every order, we'll also include this powerful drill, a $40 value, but you'll get it free. Just pay shipping and processing. You get it all. The Awesome Auger, the Ground Dog, the Weed Dog, the Power Extender, plus the Power Drill. A whopping $120 value for only $19.95. Here's how to order.
Call 1-800-235-9301 to order the Awesome Auger and get the Power Drill and Weed Dog with extender free. Call 1-800-235-9301 now.
The #1 cable news show for 7 years and counting. The O'Reilly Factor.
Thanks for staying with us. I'm Bill O'Reilly in the Miller Time segment tonight. Why is Hillary Clinton staying in the race? Mr. Miller wants to know, and he joins us now from Los Angeles. Big win in West Virginia, though. Miller, man, aren't you impressed?
Well, before we go on with that, Bill, that safari footage, just amazing. I found out today that the young buffalo was a superdelegate, and that's actually what was happening there.
They were tearing him to pieces.
They were trying to woo the superdelegate. Hillary, Hillary's a determined girl. She makes the Terminator look like somebody who would fold pocket aces, and she now stands astride West Virginia like a latter-day Colossus of Rhodes. I haven't seen anybody rule that state since Eddie Rabbit drop-shipped I Love the Rainy Night Platinum back then. So this is a big day for her, big day. You know, Obama didn't help himself any when he was shooting pool early in the week, and he kept smacking the cue ball and referring to it as the white ball. I think that did not help him.
You know, when you, I want to ask you this because I asked it to Laura Ingraham. 22% of the people in the exit poll said race was a factor. And Laura Ingraham says there might be extenuating circumstances in that. It's not all skin color. It could be about attitude and things like that. And I think she might be right about that. But how did you take that stat when it came out?
That thing in San Francisco is coming home to roost more than Reverend Wright, more than anything. The elitism of that comment. Listen, you're talking about some people that might have inferiority complexes to begin with. And when he comes in with that pied-à-terre mindset about how he understands them and all their deficiencies, it's deadly. You know, that's what did him in. And
isn't a pied-à-terre, isn't that a little apartment someplace?
Well, pied-à-terre said, I mean, you know, the hoi polloi up there, everybody standing around talking about the proletariat over Gibsons.
Yeah,
it's
because when you speak French, I get
politician.
nervous, you know. But pied-à-terre is a little apartment that you pay millions of dollars for here in New York. And
yeah, it's the sort of place where Bennett Cerf would make you a drink.
Bennett Cerf, there you go. Eddie Rabbit and Bennett Cerf, two of my favorites. Now, talking about insecure guys, John Edwards, he comes out today and endorses Obama, which has got to put him over the top, right?
Well, you know what they say about John Edwards, inch wide, inch deep. This guy's beyond lightweight. He's diaphanous. It's like getting an endorsement from Ryan Seacrest. You know, just hit the mark and tell me what number to call for the contestants, okay?
We had to call Seacrest and see if he wants to endorse tomorrow.
John Edwards is a vehicle for a haircut to get around town.
We have an awning commercial here on Fox. I swear that's John Edwards doing that awning commercial. I mean, people might see it. Tomorrow, please remind me in a booth there, you know, just to get the guy in the awning commercial and let's put him up next to John. It's Edwards. I know it is. All right. The dancing.
And by the way, Bill, can I just say real quickly? Imagine the Jim Jeffords line of people trying to be candidate 2025. They are going to be queuing up. Everybody wants that imprimatur, you know, on the Democratic side to be the one to put them over the top.
Sure.
It's going to be like the Sadie Hawkins dance.
Well, maybe Ryan Seacrest could be the one to do it, and we're going to try to get in touch.
There he is.
Now, the Memphis thing. Now, when you and I were in high school, you know, back when they had no cars and we had to take horses to school, if we had done these dances, Miller, we would have been arrested. Not suspended, arrested. So my question to you is, you have teenage boys. What's changed since we were at school and now?
Well, I got a couple theories. First up, I would say we had our frug, our twist, our limbo. This is the new kids' dance, the Spitzer, and every generation's going to have their dance.
The Spitzer, is that what you just said?
Yeah.
Wasn't it by the Dovels? Didn't they sing the Spitzer?
I think it was Little Anthony and the Imperials, if I'm not mistaken. But two things here, Bill. Most of these kids were 9 and 10 during the Lewinsky thing. Now, I know they're going to pass the buck and say, oh, that has nothing to do with it. But I remember explaining to my kid oral sex stuff at 9 and 10 coming out of the Oval Office. This is what eventually happens. It gets a little coarser out there. Do I think it's the end of the world? No. But do I think everything's in play libidinally? Yes.
If you saw your kid on a videotape at his high school doing that, what would you do?
You know, I'd call him home and tell him that he's not allowed to go to the dances anymore.
All right, so you're grounded. Now, what would you say to the teacher standing there watching your kid do it and not doing anything about it?
I'd say they're more childish than the kid, quite frankly. But here's the problem. You can't fire anybody anymore. I was watching a story on your show the other night about a 9/11 operator who told somebody to go to hell. They can't be fired. The principal can't be fired. This is common sense stuff. This guy should be whacked. Like I said, it's not the end of the world, but it's fireable.
No, but the principal's guy, sure. Any school that's out of control. And it was a shooting at the school. It's a troubled situation. All right, finally, the third thing I have for you is the Vatican came out today and said it's okay to believe in aliens, and Americans, 34% of us, do believe in UFOs and all of that. So the Vatican, I guess, is saying, look, you know, if they're up there, you can believe in them. What do you say?
Well, I want to thank David Duchovny for giving me the green light over there, but I noticed they also said, I still cannot believe in married gay aliens. So things are about the same as they always have been.
See, if the aliens are gay, they may have some trouble with the Vatican, but if they're straight...
I'm not supposed to believe in that.
We can believe in it. Okay, so
Hetero-aliens?
Let's
Exactly.
review. The Dovells, the Spitzer, Ryan Seacrest, Eddie Rabbitt doing something in West Virginia, not quite clear on what it was, and Peter Terr. Did we cover it?
That's it, Billy.
Dennis Miller, everybody. Give him a round of applause. Coming right back with William Shatner, who is writing about feuds in the Star Trek universe. And then Dallas Cowboy quarterback Tommy Romo and I both sing Take Me Out to the Ball Game. We'll play it for you. You can vote in a moment.
Prime time tomorrow. Murder at sea? A woman falls overboard and her family suspects the boyfriend. Will the evidence prove their case? Nothing gets by Greta when she goes on the record.
Forget hair color that looks like one tone. Get 3 tones built in with Nice and Easy. Incredibly natural looking color with highlights, dimension, and shine like never before. Nice and Easy with 3 tones built in from Clairol.
Hi, Enterprise. I'm at the repair shop, and I need to rent a car.
At Enterprise, we'll arrange to pick you up free and get you on your way.
Nice day, Mom.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
Should a man over 50 take the same multivitamin as a woman?
I don't think so.
One a day men's 50 plus advantage. The only complete multivitamin with support for prostate and heart health. Plus more ginkgo for memory and concentration. From One a Day.
Introducing Smart Balance Butter Blend Stick with omega-3s. 50% butter, 50% Smart Balance. Great taste with 28% less saturated fat than regular butter.
$199 a month for an 08 Honda Civic LX 4-door automatic. Larry Miller Honda of Hillsboro has over 7.5 acres of savings. Clearly a great deal at only $199 per month. Located at 750 Oak Street or HondaofHillsboro.com. Larry Miller Honda of Hillsboro, the clear choice.
News Channel 8 at 10 on Portland CW. More reporters with the clearest pictures of the changing story. The most reliable winter forecast from trusted meteorologist Matt Safina. And the only 10 o'clock news in HD. News Channel 8 at 10 on Portland CW.
Carrie's dad has run away.
I thought I saw him in the park, but it turned out to be just a weird-shaped kid.
Then,
if I lose this Frogger high score, that's it for me.
Tonight starting at 10 on Portland CW Channel 3 HD 703.
He seems like a very nice boy.
He's got a really strong jawline.
I think she's got great pantsuits.
Oh, he seems funny.
There's something about her that says,
Tune to Elections 08 on demand for all the information you need on interests, issues, facts, and candidates. Elections 08 on demand. Vote smart.
Press 890 on your digital remote or from your Channel 1 on-demand menu. Select News and World, then Elections 08.
I may be in my pajamas right now, but I'm not going to bed. I'm going to college online to get a degree. Education Connection will connect you to the right online college for free. And log on now and Education Connection will send you their free success kit stuffed with information on online schools, scholarships, even degrees that take the least amount of time. This is a $100 value and it's yours free.
Log on now to 55edconnect.com. That's 55edconnect.com.
Clearly, low interest rates this weekend at Larry Miller Honda of Hillsboro. 0.9% for 36 months and 2.9% for 60 months on popular new 08 Hondas. Located at 750 Oak Street or HondaofHillsboro.com. Larry Miller Honda of Hillsboro, the clear choice.
Back in the book segment tonight, a new book by actor William Shatner called Up Till Now, the autobiography. The work is causing some controversy because it seems not everything was heavenly in the world of Star Trek. Mr. Shatner joins us now. I'm reading over your book, and most actors we're not as candid as you are. They go, everybody loved everybody on the set, it was all fun, and then behind the scenes, they're stabbing. But a show like Star Trek, so enormous, elevated you into stardom, obviously. You were an actor before, a star afterward. People change on the set, don't they? Isn't there rivalry?
They do. And there is rivalry, but there's not much an actor can do about getting a role. The agents can parlay and they make things happen, or producers get the favorites in. But the actor themselves, very difficult to do something about anything other than trying to perform.
But millions of people watching Star Trek, and they still watch it. It's a phenomenon. And Roddenberry creates it, and then you get hired, and Nimoy gets hired, and everybody looks at the show as, number one, a very professional presentation, very enjoyable, but they don't think about behind the scenes. And then you write that there was some tension between you and Nimoy.
There was, and to begin with, publicity, probably jealousy on my part.
Your part?
He got a lot of publicity as Spock, and if I remember correctly, I thought maybe I should get some of it.
But you were the leading man. You were the big guy.
I was a young actor and intent on my
So you
territory.
were jealous of him?
Yeah.
Were you mean to him?
I don't think so. And in the end, what I'm trying to put into perspective is this feud. Leonard and I didn't have much of a feud to begin with, and now we're bosom friends, we're brothers. But what happened as the show went on, and then I began to do interviews on books that I was writing, one of the actors said to me 6 or 7 years after the show was over, would you like to hear how we despised you? And that came as a shock. I said, what are you talking about? And Nichelle Nichols began to describe how much they disliked me because, and then I never really got a good reason. And it's 40 years later.
Did that hurt your feelings?
Yeah, I was astounded.
So when they said, look, we really didn't like you when we were back then, but they wouldn't say anything because, you know, you were the big guy and they'd get in trouble.
Something like that.
You know, I mean, but that's not unusual in show business or television business. I mean, when big guys make it and the other guys who don't make it, you know, he's a rotten guy, You know how it is, human nature.
In New York, I'm on a Broadway show, big hit Broadway show, and an actor is clapping me on the shoulder when he gets a laugh, and it's a nice gentle hit when he gets a laugh. When his laugh doesn't hit, when he mistimes
Hit you a little harder, huh?
Hit me a little harder. So one day I said, you got to stop. He said, no. And I went to everybody. It took weeks. I went up the ladder. No. And finally I said, if you hit me like that again, I'm going to hit you back.
Good.
So he hit me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I hauled off and punched him.
What play was that?
The World of Susie Wong.
Oh.
And he hit me.
There wasn't any violence in Susie Wong, as I remember.
Well, no, it was all...
So it was hard to fake that.
It was hard to fake it.
Yeah.
What was that? I don't know.
Was Susie in a brawl? What happened here?
So I hit this actor back. And
good for you.
Yeah.
I would have done it much earlier.
As we know.
Yeah, as we know, absolutely. Boston Legal. You got big time Candice Bergen, Spader, serious actors, you, this and the other thing. Here again, there must be some rivalry and tension on the set because you're all artists.
Right.
You're all
But you know, we're not. It's astonishing. These are professional, mature.
Mature
actors.
How do you get that? I have to find out how to get that.
You got to work on yourself.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. But then you lose your charm, you see.
That's what I say. You know,
This book is a panoply of my life. The incidents we're talking about are part of the book up till now. And
overall message of the book is
decisions you make at all times should be done consciously because they reverberate the rest of your life.
Yeah, don't get drunk out of your mind and do some crazy
Well,
thing.
those are big. What about moving the paper, saying hello to somebody, anything? Just be aware of your life. And
that's good. That's a good message because the unintended consequences of slights and everything else
there you
come
go.
back to bite you.
Let alone the big ones of who you should have gone left when you should have gone right.
Right, absolutely. And the choice of companions is huge and all
That's
that.
what I mean.
All right, I'm going to finish up. I didn't have time to read the whole thing. The book is up till now. William Shatner, thanks for coming in here. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Pinheads and Patriots is next, and it may be a classic, featuring me, Tony Romo, and Drew Barrymore. Whoa! In a moment.
I just took my twin out for Boston Market's new Tuscan chicken carver. I paid, again, it was only $5.99.
Try Boston Market's spicy new Tuscan herb chicken carver. It's just $5.99.
Or free, if you're Anthony. That's me.
They say trust takes time, and wisdom is gained over the years. One financial company has been building trust for nearly 2 centuries. The Hartford. Ask your agent or broker what the Hartford can do for you.
Welcome to our moment. You want some shade for the moment?
Sure.
They needed someone to landscape a new subdivision across town. Fast. That's where AT&T came in. I checked inventory at the nursery. I got pricing from the office and submitted the bid online. All from right here. See, if we can't make our moment happen, it'll become someone else's moment. Guys, we got the job. Sweet.
Seize your moment with AT&T Small Business Solutions. And now get the AT&T Laptop Connect card for free. AT&T, your world delivered.
Getting important legal documents doesn't have to be expensive or time-consuming. I'm Robert Shapiro, and I created LegalZoom.com with that promise.
Wills, incorporation, living trusts, and more. In 3 easy steps, LegalZoom.com helps you prepare quality legal documents in minutes. Over 500,000 Americans have made LegalZoom.com the leader for legal document services. Make a will for only $69. Incorporate a business for $139.
LegalZoom.com. We put the law on your side.
If you think about it, this is a lot like most job search sites. They let everyone in, so the best people can't stand out. Join the Ladders, the premium job site for only 100K plus jobs and only 100K plus job seekers.
Whoa! That must be the coolest job in the world.
Actually, kid, I'm a fighter pilot. He's the lawn pro.
Mow like the pros and cut your mowing time in half with the amazing Toro Time Cutter Z. Visit toro.com/Z to learn more.
Mortgage rates are close to historic lows. Refinance with LendingTree to consolidate your debt and lower your monthly payments. Lock into a great fixed-rate mortgage today and let the Leaf work for you. LendingTree. When banks compete, you win.
Viewer email is brought to you by LendingTree.com. When banks compete, you win.
Time now for Pinheads and Patriots. We like actress Drew Barrymore because she has spunk. The 33-year-old had her car rear-ended in L.A. The guy took off, but Miss Barrymore followed him, got his license plate, and the cops tracked him down. Good for Drew. He's a Patriot. On the Pinhead front, you guys make the call on this one. The Chicago Cubs have a great tradition where some guest leads the crowd in singing Take Me Out to the Ball Game in the 7th inning. Both Dallas Cowboy quarterback Tony Romo and I have done this. Roll the tape.
A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. The old ball game. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Take me out to the ball game. Cause it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
All right, so who's the pinhead? Let me know. Who had the tune down? Finally tonight, the mail. Just a reminder, the best Father's Day gift in the world, the brand new Factor Staff shirts. There they are, the Factor Staff, first time ever, are going fast. They will sell out, word to the wise. Robert Anderson, Everett, Washington. Bill, is the reason the Founding Fathers gave presidential wives the title First Lady. I wouldn't vote for anyone whose spouse wasn't directly involved in decisions. Then you wouldn't have voted for Washington or Lincoln, sir. Jana Matthews, Bellingham, Washington. I agree Michelle Obama has a huge impact on Barack. That was evident on Oprah. William Rice, Plant City, Florida. As a former teacher in Hillsborough County, your assessment is correct, Bill. Despite $1 billion budget, it cannot keep whack jobs out of the classroom. Betty Nichols, Tampa. O'Reilly, I'm angry at you. There are a lot of good teachers here, only the bad ones get in the news. Why are you angry with me, madam? My job's to report and try to improve bad situations, and you guys have one. Lyda Shedler, Hudson, Florida. A man was sentenced to life for molesting 3 boys, but women molesters get off easy, obvious double standard. And Rod Choll, Lake Havasu, Arizona. Bill, you are a pinhead for putting Kim Kardashian on national TV. Well, let me break this to you gently, sir. She's already on national TV. How about our website? www.foxnews.com/O'Reilly. Talking points memo each evening. If you come in late, you can get it there. Please email us with pithy comments from anywhere in the world. O'Reilly at FoxNews.com. O'Reilly at FoxNews.com. Name and town, name and town, name and town if you wish to opine. And please, when writing to us, do not be a blooter. No good. B-L-O-O-T-E-R, blooter. Most dictionaries do not have it. It is a real word. Came from Scotland, blooter. That's it for us today. The Factor continues 24/7 on BillO'Reilly.com, where we have the great Factor shirts, No Spin Dad mugs. We want you to become a premium member. Your whole life will get better immediately because you'll meet great people, have great discussions, and no nonsense on BillO'Reilly.com with the premium membership. Hannity and Combs next. They're going to have